Coming up in today's bulletin, only 3% of Solomon Islands' primary forest suitable for commercial logging is left to be harvested. Governor General, His Excellency Reverend Kapu, says Solomon Islands must be cautious of the negative impact of artificial intelligence, AI. And more than 60 people were arrested in Honiara and the provinces during the Royal Solomon Island Police Force Christmas and New Year operations. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. Only 3% of Solomon Islands' primary forest suitable for commercial logging is left to be harvested. As of 2024, 19% of the country's total forest area deemed suitable for logging has already been cleared, raising concerns over the long-term environment and economic impacts. Elisa Kukutu reports.
Only 3% of Solomon Islands forest that is suitable for logging is left to be logged as of 2024. Ministry of Forestry and Research Permanent Secretary Richardson Raumai said the country's total area suitable for logging is 22%. 19% of that area has already been logged. He said by 2030, primary forest for logging in the country will no longer exist.
Total of out of the total forest area that you garem, only 22% no more is suitable for logging in the country. The rest not suitable for logging, above 400 meters above sea level. So out of this 22% that you garem remaining, more than 19% lohem you already logging, and even as you speak, re-entry still go inside. So meaning that you garem maybe less than 3% normal of virgin forests lo country where him remain. So with the high level of harvesting that you may garam this time, you may anticipating that by year 2030, every primary forest him should finish now, yeah? So logging by him resort normal, re-entry or regenerate after logging.
Mr. Raumai said the debate on unsuitable logging activities in the country is based on the 22% forest area suitable for logging. He said 59% of the country's total forest cover remains undisturbed.
Time we may talk about a lot of to talk around unsustainable forest harvesting. You may refer normal or this fella 22% of forests were suitable for logging. Stock activities now inside logging more, milling more, then agricultural production go inside. Around 59% of forest blaming I'm still undisturbed, yeah. And mountain forests where I'm still intact. So Solomon Island, I think one among the forest cover around 71%, which is the highest around the world too, which you should be happy with.
Mr. Raumai adds that revenue from the country's logging sector makes up 1/4 of government's revenue for the past 30 years.
Forests cover around 80% of total land mass of Solomon Islands, which is around 2.2 million hectares. And him one fella as chair go out alluded to is one of the mainstream revenue sources of the country, where him contribute around 1/4 of Solomon Islands government revenue annually for the past 30 years or so, and but him still continue for providing revenue for the next years, but low, slow rate, yeah, him go down.
For SIBC TV, I'm Elisa Kukutu.
Still on the logging sector, logging operations across the country shows there's a mismatch in the Ministry of Forestry and Research figures that areas 400 meters above sea level is not logged. Member of Parliament for North New Georgia constituency, Honourable John Dean Kuku, said there needs to be robust monitoring from the ministry side to ensure logging companies are held accountable for breaking the law.
It's 400 to 600 meters above sea level logging. 400?
400,
yeah. I'm a little bit funny, Lumia piece. I'm a little bit funny because if New Georgia Island having below 400 meter, then through every whole island yan about a logim. But this time, maybe course of whole island yan now log there. So, but people I think above 400 meter. Eh?
Equal 1,000 now.
So there is just a mismatch nama. Yeah? When you may say all same, there is physical evidence, no denying. Physical evidence now. So maybe the enforcement party now, you may look that one. My comment nama, eh? And just for say nama, New Georgia higher than 400 meters above sea level. The messaging there is, I think there is a mismatch in messaging and then the actions you may take. So that one fala. What me by interest for sabe no more is when you may get.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Forest Arius Moveni said the ministry only started implementing the 400-meter regulation after its recent approval. He said the ministry's limited officers in the field also contributes to the regulation lack of enforcement in the 9 provinces.
This regulation of 400 meters, first of all, me like to say that me follow ministry no really aware go to ya. Time for implement no more. Hem come lo me follow. Or the first for implement him. I think that was some years back. Yeah. So also really what the criteria is we all should follow. Some have no spell out good. So we actually implement that one just because I'm already become a regulation. We are implementing, but then we also fall short of our officers, manpower, we really need to be present in field. And now that one, but based on the few 400 meters away what to go, just for information wise, as of 2003, we were suspending 20 companies. Yeah,
that's good.
20 companies just because of a breach of that one number. And for this year, according to record, we also suspending 9 fella. Yeah, but as Italian finish, me fella suspending, but there is a provision too for what appeal him. Yeah? So what's appeal him the minister and decision the minister and sa final. So at times, me fella looking at something I'm not proper, but once a decision is made, I'm made. Thank you, Chair.
In embracing the advantages of artificial intelligence AI, Solomon Islands must also prepare for its negative impacts. Governor-General, His Excellency Reverend David Tivakapu, made this statement when delivering his New Year address to the country. He said as AI boomed in recent years, the country must be watchful for its negative side.
Today we live in a fast-changing global environment, and where technology and the talk of social media, such as social platform media, such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and so forth, has become predominantly a household vocabulary. But slowly there is what is known as AI, artificial intelligence, which is becoming the subject of the day. As a country, we must also be prepared for this, which has infiltrated our society. Whilst it may have a lot of positive aspects, we must also be watchful for its negative side. According to scripts by some experts, artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science dedicated to creating computers and programs that can replicate human thinking. Some AI programs can learn from the past by analyzing complex set of data and improve their performance without the help of humans to refine their programming. As AI has boomed in recent years, it became commonplace in both business and everyday life. People use AI every day to make their life easier. Some of us who are computer savvy may have seen the headlines about AI, both the good and bad, regardless of what you think of the risk of using AI. No one can dispute that it's here to stay.
He adds certain ethical questions around the use of AI needs to be looked into as it advances into society.
There are always pros and cons to any technological advancement. There is a lot of debate about the benefits and risks of AI at every level. There are some deep ethical questions around the modern and future use of AI. Our manpower planning in the years to come, when considering the productive sector and downstream processing, must also consider the introduction of this in a process and production line, as it is coming to our shores, whether we agree or not. I urge those responsible to begin work on policies to regulate these to guide our nations in the use of technologies in our daily lives. Today, even toddlers have smartphones in their hands. We must be careful what comes on and those smartphones for our children. Even teenagers and adults are caught up in the use of technology and AI in learning institutions. Copy and paste has become a practice in the completion of assignments. We challenge true learning. The availability and ease of access of information on the internet and the propagation of all manners of knowledge on varying and vast issues raises concern on proper information and knowledge being fed to our people daily on those issues, which may create both better understanding and misunderstanding. Regardless of this, it is an issue we now grapple with and must be addressed to ensure that this benefits our people rather than having a negative impact.
Now, more than 60 people were arrested in Honiara and the provinces during the Royal Solomon Island Police Force Christmas and New Year operations. Operation Commander and Assistant Commissioner for the National Capital and Crime Prevention, Simpson Pogeava, said the arrests were made in relation to incidents including common assault and domestic violence. He also confirmed that the National Traffic Department has arrested and dealt with traffic-related incidents during their operation.
During Christmas and New Year operations for Honiara, 27 people arrested. For provinces, 39 people were arrested. Other offences like false pretense, malicious damage, use of threatening words in public, drinking in public places, domestic violence, and common assaults. Those are the offences related to the arrest made for Honiara and provinces. So traffic can be attending a lot of reports and dealt with low traffic center. We got offences like careless driving, using of unlicensed motor vehicles, using of uninsured motor vehicles, permitting unlicensed motor vehicles, permitting uninsured motor vehicles, driving without a valid driver's license, driving without driver's license. Those are offences that are encountered during the course of the operation. Yeah, I may acknowledge a lot of people within our community are still celebrating or still in the mode of this New Year celebration. We just like to remind them no more how good people and loving people of Solomon Islands for continue to have this for a crime-free and safe New Year celebration. As everyone doing come now past few days ago safely, and now me just like for call again for continue despite of the length of your time to continue with the celebration, but we call for respect one another as you respect him yourself.
Opposition leader Honorable Matthew Wale has called for increased investment in education and healthcare as critical areas to move Solomon Islands forward. Alex Dadamu filed this story.
Education and health should be the priority areas to move Solomon Islands forward. Opposition leader Honorable Matthew Wale made the remarks at a video podcast with members of the youth wing of Solomon Islands Democratic Party, the Young Democrats. He says he believes more investments is needed in the education and health sector.
But again, I come to the very basic question: what does it take to move this country forward? Then you may focus learn. You may not spread them resources too thinly. And I would have to say, Lomi, tuval something no more, education and health.
Yeah.
We have to invest 3 times more in education than what we're doing now.
Yeah.
All Solomon Islander children must be the most educated in the whole Pacific Islands region. They must be the most skilled in the whole Pacific Islands region. That's an ambition.
Yeah. And we can do it. No? That's why we need free education.
We must do it. Must free education.
Yeah.
And the second, of course, is health.
Yeah.
You know, to turn up to a clinic and no any Panadol, man, it's beyond a joke.
Yeah.
Beyond a joke. It's a terrible thing. So Yumi must fix him health care system.
Honorable Wale went on to emphasize that all citizens have the responsibility to care about issues happening in the country.
Is that all citizens have a duty. Duty for what? A duty of care. You must care. This one very important. You must care about what happens in the country. You must care about what happens in the province. You must care about what happens in the constituency and the ward blue. You must care what happens in your tribe. If you don't care, no care attitude na. You will go ahead no. You will spoil them go now. Can't talk blame yeah. Time you miss that for all them now. What something go wrong and then I'm hard and over time it gets worse and worse and worse and it's normalized as normal behavior. So citizens must exercise a duty of care, not just lo CDF, but lo every something now.
Yeah.
Including decisions where hem non-monetary, hem no got any selling attached to him. Every citizen must care. This fella, me leave him go no me vote, but no anything no me tight. This fella attitude, me no much good for you for country.
SIBC TV understands that the video podcast interview with Honorable Wale was organized as a substitute for his usual New Year's address. Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services is in the process of reviewing 2 key pieces of legislation, the Health Administrative Act and the Nursing Council Act. Elisa Kukutu with the details.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services is reviewing its Health Administrative Act and the Nursing Council Act. Minister Dr. Paul Bosawai told Parliament that a policy document has been drafted for the Health Administrative Act, which will be presented to Cabinet this year. He said a desk review has also been completed for the Nursing Council Act.
In terms of our legislative programs, mifala go ahead for wakalo samfala acts where hemi important for driving now ministry forward, and one now hemi Health Administrative Act and the Nursing Council Act. With him, with the partnership and stakeholders, Ministry and Bara work hard for good for review now this Health Service Act Amendment 1998 and Act, Mr. Speaker, this Act and Bara were overdue and outdated. Already a policy document is being drafted and will be presented to Cabinet next year or the first quarter of next year, 2025. The Nursing Council Act also in progress. We will start with them drafting this nursing policy. Desk review, Mr. Speaker, has also been done and completed, and the ministry now developing policy, which Bahemi also submitted to Cabinet next year, 2025.
Minister Bosawai adds that the ministry is also developing a health workforce strategy aimed at strengthening the ministry's workforce.
Solomon Islands' skilled health workforce density is among the lowest among the Pacific Island countries, with a triple burden of chronic skilled health workforce shortages, inequitable distribution of the workforce, and insufficient workforce to meet the SDG health targets by 2030. Noting and recognizing the importance of health workforce in the healthcare system, the ministry have now in draft of a health workforce strategy 2024 to 2031, which we hope to finalize this in the first quarter of next year and presented to Cabinet for its endorsement and blessing in 2025. The strategy will move Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Mr. Speaker, forward for a stronger health workforce and ensuring that we have a fit-for-purpose workforce and forecasting for the future workforce against various diseases developed in the health sectors, against the new diseases that might come up, and also the reimaging of what are all sickness where you may experience it.
Eliza Kukutu for SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification is looking at setting up an independent body to regulate the mines and minerals sector. Permanent Secretary Dr. Chris Vehe said the regulatory arm of the mines and minerals sector being moved out from the ministry would allow the sector to be independent in its operation and will allow accountability and transparency to be present in its processes. He said the arrangement will also allow landowners to fully benefit from their natural resources.
There is a need for better arrangements in place, and so the policy thinking around establishing a mineral resource authority, if you like, but something of that sort. I can still remember before, during your term in office, that we are trying to get that idea through. Somehow it got slipped along the way because we don't have a kind of a mineral rush at that time to really fund the authority if it is established. At the moment, I'm confident that this can happen. Levies from these companies can really fund the authority, if you may establish him here, or if not an authority, just something like a mineral resource commission or something also whereby I'm deal too with the regulatory framework, pulling it out from the under-resourced administration side to law ministry. And I would have thought too that the regulatory framework law mining sector be moved out from the ministry. I see. If we were to see much of the independency on decision making and for board, they go sit down over there too. Exactly. These are thinking that we've been having, and we've been talking a lot with our neighboring partner PNG in how we're going to do, and so as coming up with mechanisms that will really put proper arrangements in place with landowners, lo maximize na benefits lokata.
SIBC News understands the amended Mines and Minerals Act is expected to be tabled in Parliament this year. Now, Governor-General, His Excellency Reverend David Tivakapu, has called for the inclusion of economic strategy in the Solomon Islands school curriculum, saying that teaching financial skills from a young age could help tackle the country's high youth unemployment rate. Alex Dedamu with more.
Economic strategy is the missing link in Solomon Islands school curriculum. Governor-General His Excellency Reverend David Tivakapu, in his New Year's message to the country, said if economic strategy is instilled in students at a very young age, it will enable young graduates to make effective use of financial facilities and resources available to them to create jobs. He said given the country's high unemployment rate and consecutive governments over the years failing to effectively address the issue, investing in the students' economic potential will cut back the youth unemployment issue.
Regarding human resources development, my predecessor said in his 2024 New Year message, which I would like to reiterate again, and I quote, that universities, schools and training centers need to review the curriculum they offer their students. The status quo for university and schools to prepare the students for white-collar job or even blue-collar job is no longer true. I believe economic strategy is the missing link that needs to be incorporated in school curriculum. The economic strategy should instill in students what is available for them after graduation, including what financial facilities are available to help them create jobs. Students must be encouraged to exercise resilience and the freedom in taking risks to pursue tasks to create jobs. It is the moral responsibility of this nation to see these things are available for newly graduated students from our university schools, training centers, and of course. These are not easy to attain, but we must begin now to provide a platform on which our future generations can improve on.
He adds the country must continue to seek ways to improve current learning institutions.
We must continue to seek ways to add value to our existing learning avenues and institutions. Not only the infrastructure development, but in the programs and curriculums. Better conditions for our teachers and education providers in terms of innovative and creative schemes. As I understand, the Ministry of Education is currently working on that, which is encouraging. Avenues and strategies to curtail the number of students who continue to graduate out of our various institutions in the country and in the region and beyond and find it difficult to be employed. We must continue to seek ways to curb social issues which are largely associated with lack of employment for a lot of our school dropouts and even graduates. What can we do to impart trade skills for all our dropouts and to add more value and prospect to their bleak outlook?
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.